Yo.
Welcome back to the Mark Our Words podcast, the official podcast of YouTube. What's good with you, Moses?
Man, life is beautiful. Life is good. Life
Man,
is gorgeous, man.
One thing I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my friends' opportunities, the blessings that y'all have, and the things that y'all are able to do and stuff like that, the jobs that y'all have, and just the relationships that y'all develop. I'm also grateful for the friends that my friends have. There was one thing that I noticed about you personally. It's like, yo, you really do have a community, and it don't even have to be big. You have a community of, I want to say, like-minded people in some fashion, to where it's like, oh, some are career driven, some are like, of course, like we're not Grand Theft Auto, we're not Vice City, we're not thugs, anything like that. Like we're regular black men. So like, just to see like your friends, I know like you were sharing, I know I missed your birthday. I missed your birthday surprise thing because I had to fly to Alabama. But I was like, yo, it's just the ability that I can call someone and be like, yo, can we meet and stuff like that for Chen's birthday and things like that. And I'm like, yo, we really have a community of good people. I'm kind of still high off of the L interview. And I'm just like, I'm like, yo, we really know some good people, some smart people.
Yeah.
Like some people who are, I don't like to throw that word genius out there. I always tell you one of the smartest people I know. But I'm like, yo, we really know some smart people.
Yeah, man.
And we ain't had to go to like California or somewhere. Like they really like in our community. So I'm just in a grateful mood.
That's
like,
good.
They're like, I know these people.
Yeah, no, I mean that's something that I'm also dealing with, is like how to foster these relationships and water them and grow them. 'Cause I think for the longest time, especially in my 20s, I kind of just let it be. 'Cause I'm an app type of person. I remember there was this person I used to talk to way before my girl. Well, not too way before, but enough time. And she was telling me how there's two types of people. There's plant type of people and there's apps type of people. Where the plants is like you water them and you need to water them daily for them to grow. But the apps is like if you log off and you come back on, it's going to be at the same place you were at. And so I'm an app type of person. So I treat every relationship like as an app. Like if I haven't seen you in a while, it could be 10 years, 15 years. I'm going to greet you like it was still 15 years ago. Like I'm not, it hasn't been like, oh, what, how are you? We're not really friends. I'm like, oh no, you still my brother, even if I don't talk to you like that.
And that's the crazy thing about it. Because you're one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
Being friends with you and like our group, it did kind of put a hindrance on how to not make friends, but how to but how to maintain friendship in the real world is what I call it, because I don't ask for a lot from you or any of my friends, and that's not reality. Yeah. Reality is you gotta rent a tux. Reality is you have to put some money out. Reality, you gotta meet them across town somewhere. Yeah. And like you said, you have friends that you treat as apps. When people ask me how is Chen doing, I say I don't know. Like if I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like I don't know, and they see it weird as like you don't want to call and see how you're doing. I'm like, if you need something, you call me. You know, it's just I really don't know if that's such a man thing or like if that's just a, I don't know.
I was talking to Princess yesterday, actually.
Shout out to Princess.
Shout out to Princess. Go back to our Princess interview.
Yes.
A great interview. Apparently, she wasn't in a good space for teaching during that interview.
Is she in a better space now?
Oh, she loves it now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was a side note. But she was telling me how, like, you know, we was talking about how, like, guys don't really have real relationships, especially around their male friends. And she was like, yeah, I don't know why. One, She was like, y'all crack too many jokes on each other. and a lot of times, a lot of guys be sensitive about the jokes. And so, but they won't let their homeboys know. But they said, she said there's so many of her homeboys that was like, yeah, after he's talked about my pants, I never wore those pants again. Or after he talked about my shirt, I threw them shirts away. Or like, so it's like little things like that. But one thing that she mentioned was like a lot of women, they have homegirls that they just call just to talk, just to, listen. They call back their families and see how they're doing, all those things. And just being able to foster and build those relationships, fill them. And they have a support system with guys. Like, I think a lot of guys like myself kind of just don't foster those relationships. And then years go by. And then when things go down, they don't have nobody to call or somebody to lean on or somebody to deal or help them through any type of situation. And she's like, the only group of guys that she knows is like 4 of them, and they call each other for everything. It's like, hey, yo, you just saw the game, blah blah blah, or hey, yo, get on the game. I think Call of Duty is probably one of those things where guys are able to do that.
I didn't let y'all know. I got my PlayStation 5.
Hey, shout out to Sony.
I got my PlayStation
not Walmart,
5.
Not GameStop.
I got my PlayStation 5.
Not Target.
It took me two years, almost 3 years. I got my PlayStation 5.
Not Costco. Sony.com. Do you think they still got some? Probably not.
But go ahead, man.
But yeah, I think Call of Duty is probably one of those things that how guys foster that friendship.
Them lobbies be toxic though, boy.
Yeah,
toxic.
Probably.
Very toxic.
Really, still?
Yeah, a little bit. You definitely playing against some 13-year-old who's guiding you to his genitals and stuff. Every kill, you know what I mean?
That's
but
hilarious.
and of course this episode's not about this, but I always have a thought when it comes to friendship that I make the mistake and I try to not foster, but I use my real friends, like you are a real friend. You're not AR. I use AI. I use my friendship with you and like my other close friends as a template for making new friends. And let me tell you why that's messed up. Because I don't expect nothing from the friends that been around me for 20 years. Like nothing.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I am new to making new friends at 30 years old. That comes with a give and take. Because I don't want to make it feel like I'm using somebody. But that's almost the norm. For example, I like to use let's use Princess since we mentioned Princess, right?
Yeah.
If I was to just meet Princess, I say, Princess, I want you on my podcast. I want to talk to you about teaching. I'm giving her a platform for her to talk, and she's giving me an interview, right?
Yeah.
I'm not used to a friendship being built off of that type of give and take. I'm always used to like it got to be very genuine, and I don't know if that's a good template for everybody. Some relationships or friendships is based off of give and take. And I'm just not used to that at 30 years old, because that's why I don't really like to ask people for anything. Cause I'm like, I want you to feel like I really like you, as a friend.
Okay.
I don't want to make it be like, hey, can you do this for me? Because I'm your friend. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I don't know if I worded it correctly or.
I think you did.
Okay.
I think you did. Yeah, this is something that I was thinking about a lot too. Is like, cause I'm not used to that either. But I think also I just have good people around me. I was telling a friend, like, she was like, she was like, you give a lot. I was like, I only give a lot to people that give a lot. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for me, but I just know that type of person. Like they do a lot for people. Yeah. And because they do a lot for people, there's a trust that I have for that person. For me to do a lot and know that they're not going to take advantage. But I'm not the type of person that do a lot for people that don't or not good people. You hear those people that are like, oh, this person, all he does or all she does is take.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I don't have those people around me.
Yeah.
I never had those people
but
around me.
I'm also not trying to be part of that group either, though. I'm not trying to be part of the group that take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, but the thing is like, so I was dealing with like, is entitlement the same thing as expectations or expecting? So like entitlement, and this is the conclusion I came to, is like entitlement is like, oh, because we're friends, you have to do this for me.
And that's wrong?
I think that's wrong,
Okay.
right? Versus like expectations is, we're friends and I did this for you. I expect you to also do this for me. But if you don't, cool. I'll readjust our friendship.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the expectation that I had that we didn't meet. You didn't meet, and because of that, then okay, I might have to adjust the friendship. I'm not entitled to you doing something for me, but because the expectation wasn't met, I was like, okay, I have to readjust. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe I shouldn't be helping you move. Shout out to a friend I do, because she painted my whole kitchen. So hey,
and that
I'm not talking about.
And that's it. That's expecting and not entitled.
Yeah, that's expecting. So it's like she helped paint my whole kitchen. Oh yeah, I'm expected to help you move with no pay
because we're friends.
Because we're friends, and there's an expectation. I think there's an expectation. If she calls me up and say, "Hey, I need help," yeah, I should at least try to make it there. Versus like a quote unquote friend who we cool, but you never really helped me out. But okay, I'll help you out. But then I call you and you're like, I don't know. Then I call you again. I was like, okay, now I might have to adjust what we are in my head.
Yeah.
But I'm not entitled to like, oh no, you need to do this for me because I did this. No, I think that's entitlement. And so I think is a give and take, and the other part to that is like, giving doesn't look the same. So even though I might give, let's say, my time to help you do things, you might just give me a listening ear, or you might just be the person to call me to make sure I'm good and say, hey, yo, what's up? I'm just hearing from you. That might be what you do for me. I might not have another outlet for you for that, and so that type of giving might look different. So yes, you're not helping me paint my kitchen or helping me move things around, but you helping me just to express myself in a different way. And so I think it is kind of necessary to look at relationships like a give and take, or you're going to be taken advantage of, or take advantage of others.
And I'm learning to differentiate business relationships and friendships. And the thing that is hard to differentiate is I don't really act different towards
both.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you pay attention to the small things, there's some things that you would see that's not similar. But matter of fact, I should give you a perfect example. After we did an interview with our guest, you said, "Hey, would you like something to eat?" Like, it's my treat. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's something that you would do for your friend too.
Yeah.
So like, that's what I mean. Like, sometimes my real personality bleeds over into a business relationship that is strictly give and take in some instances.
Yeah.
To where it's like, oh, if I do have a business relationship with this person and we're friendly, you get what I'm saying? How can it not bleed over? How can I not expect something? I think I should expect something more if it's a business relationship. It's like, hey, I hate saying I need, but like, I would like this, or I would like this type of bridge, I would like this type of network and things like that. And that's really where I think I'm transitioning as a 31-year-old, to where all I have now is just childhood friends and friends that I have for over like a decade. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm entering an arena to where I'm building friendships with people that I didn't grow up with.
Yeah.
People that I don't know, people that's already grown. So they already are who they are, and I'm learning them, and they're not childhood friends, so it's strictly a business relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of finding it hard to maneuver and not let, I'm not saying change personalities, but I guess change expectations in some factor. I know I'm talking in circles, but I'm trying to put it into words. If you get what I'm saying,
I do.
Because look, it's easy to be friends with the ones I grew up with because we was kids.
Yeah.
But now that we're older, it's like this is strictly business in some fashion.
Does a business relationship ever turn into a friendship? Or what's the difference between your close friends and then regular friends and business relationships? Like your close friends, I get, but what's the difference between those that are not close friends and business relationships?
The definition you gave with friendship in general, I will put that towards business, to where you said expecting. With you, I don't expect nothing from you.
How can you not?
It's weird. It's like it's like maybe it's because
like how you know I'm being a good friend or not.
I don't put you through that. I don't put you through that ringer, and it's kind of like you have to be obviously a bad friend because we don't talk every day. We don't text every day. The things that normal friends do, well,
we send memes, we send tweets.
we would send memes and tweets to each other before we say a word hi. You get what I'm saying? The things that normal friendships do when it comes, we don't go to brunch. You know, you did send out that invite. I do appreciate that, but we don't go to brunch.
Only one person respond. I know. I'm gonna hit him up separately.
we
shout out to y'all though.
We don't have weekly meetings for dinner and things like that.
Yeah, things
that I do with my girl. I'm not saying that I'm trying to date my friends, but there's a certain intention that I have with my lady that you and everybody else is kind of like on cruise control, to where it's like it would have to veer so off the road that I would have to be like, hey, are we good?
Let's say you hit me up over and over again, like to the point of like back in the day.
Okay.
And it's like now, like I don't ever hit you up. Anytime I need something, I call you. Hey, yo, can you help me out? Blah blah blah, this, that, and third. But you don't never call me for anything. And if you in trouble, I never help you out. Like I'm not a bad friend, but I'm very selfish, and it's subconsciously selfish. It's it's not direct selfishness. How do you know? Like, how do you gauge? Like, okay, this relationship is unhealthy for me.
I would say I don't know. I because I never experienced that. You get what I'm saying? In my adulthood.
Okay, that's
the most thing that I can say is that I try to do what you said, adjust. You get what I'm saying? It's not saying that he ain't my friend no more.
Yeah.
But I see me taking it more personally if it was a business relationship.
I see.
Because I'm like, I gave you an olive branch. It's a business relationship. We know it's a business relationship.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a give and take.
Yeah.
When I need something, you supposed to help me out. Basically, of course, this is an example. I really don't. I'm not looking forward for anybody that I'm in business friendship to do this, but I'm not looking for, let's say, you to be like, you are my business friend or whatever that I just met, and we in business, and like I gave you something in business, and then I look for something in return, and you don't give me nothing in return. I see me taking that more of an offense because I'm like, dang, I looked out for that person, compared to someone who may have previously proved themselves to be a great friend, and now currently it's like
there's more.
It's like
there's more money in the bank.
Yeah, it's kind of like exactly. Yeah, it's like maybe I need to adjust my terms of service with this friend, but I think there is a adjusting that I'm finding out, because one thing you said in the beginning when we started this podcast, you said, the main reason why I said, hey, look, I'm trying to grow this thing. You said, I'm trying to build my network with people.
Yeah.
Right? I never thought of that as an intention for me. I thought like it's going to happen by itself. Like if we become bigger, then people will want to talk to us. But I'm like, how do I know how to manage Chin.
Yeah.
I know how to manage my lady. I don't really know how to manage a relationship that is strictly business. You get what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect from me as someone you just know on a business level? You get what I'm saying? Like, I only know intimate relationships when it comes to someone that I know for 15, 20 years. You get what I'm saying? What if I just met you and you're a great person to help me and to provide for me monetarily? Mm-hmm. It just like it just weird, and I'm finding myself as I go older I get, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have people that strictly know me for my work. I need to know how to foster those relationships. To your point, not treat those like apps, but treat those like plants and things like that.
I think the key is to see them as human first. I think a lot of times people don't see people as human.
They just see it as opportunity or whatever.
Yeah. So I remember the person who gave me the job I have now, she said that there was another person that we mutually know, that they had to cut off because this person would always just, every time they reached out, they would just ask them for something over and over again. And I was like, really? Like, that's so, that just seemed weird to me. Mm-hmm. And this person, like, for me, the reason why we stay connected, it was like sometimes they would reach out to me and say, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I would reach out to them. It won't be every day, but just to check in, just to make sure they were okay, just make sure they're good. And the reason why I did that, one, because they did it for me, and then two, there was always a good person back at the last job I worked at. And so even though we didn't build a relationship, there was there was some type of like human relationship aspect to it. To our co-workership.
Even though you wouldn't consider them like a friend of yours?
Nah, I mean, we don't go to each other's birthdays.
It's like a colleague or something like that? Okay.
And it's a little bit more than a colleague, because I'm asking like, how you doing? How was this trip? How's this? And not just off of like walking we're crossing, we have to make small talk. It's like, I'm genuinely interested. Another example was, there was this one guy that used to be like a one-man team, and so everybody's bombarding him with questions. And one thing I always do was like, hey, just checking in with you, just making sure everything's good today. When you have a chance, can we talk? And then he just said one time, he's like, one thing I appreciate you about, man, you always ask me how I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Something that simple. You always ask me how I'm doing before.
Is it that easy? Like
well, he said, you always ask me how I'm doing before you ask me a question. I say, oh, okay. I mean, I don't want to just ask you a question about,
because to you it's weird. Like,
yeah, it's like you're a human being. Like, you're working, you're stressed. Like, you're a woman. Like, I'm understanding that you're the only one who's doing this job. So if I'm not asking how you're doing, and you're not doing well, I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out myself. Yeah. Versus if you have the time for it, okay, cool, appreciate that. But he said that most people did not do that. They would just ask him a question. Not even say hi, not even say anything. Just be like, hey, yo, can you get this for me real quick? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, yo, how about this? You worked on this yet? And so he was like, one thing I appreciate is just you asking me how I'm doing. And I think with business relationships, what separates good business relationships from bad ones are that the ones that are good, and you hear it when people talk about them. It's like, this guy is such a great guy. Like he sends me gifts every Christmas, or he sends my daughter gifts, or he came to talk to my daughter who was in a hospital. Like there's a human level that's attached to that business relationship. Might not be friends, might not be best friends, but I understand. Oh, you did something for me, and you're a human. I'm gonna go out my way to do stuff for you.
Now, my question to you is, while you're treating them as a human, as you just ask them how you're doing, are you expecting something from them though?
No,
because
I think it goes back to what you said though about our friendship. It's like, you prove yourself to be a good friend.
But I'm talking about with newer friends. Like, for example, when you go to the guy, you obviously need an answer. You obviously.
But he answered me before.
Okay.
He helped me out before.
Okay.
I mean, I think it goes back to how you said. I think you said this. Maybe you didn't. It's like, oh, I'm a trust. No, you don't believe in people. But I think you also approach people like this though. Like, I'm gonna treat you like a good person until you prove yourself to be a bad person. I might not believe you're a good person, but I'm gonna treat you like as a good person until you prove yourself.
I'm gonna play the game with you. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say how you doing the first time. And, you know, I'm going to ask you a question the first time. But if you kind of disrespectful, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm going to still treat you like a person because that's just my character. Like, it costs me nothing to ask you how you're doing. But I'm not going to ask you, like, hey, you want to go out to eat?
Yeah.
On me. Like, I'm not going to do that. Versus, like, even our guest. Like, she was a great guest. Very calm, very easy to work with, didn't have no complaints, wasn't worried about, you know, oh, you guys didn't have snacks for us.
Very gracious.
Very gracious. I was like, the least I could do, because, you know, we're a small podcast. She's a big, she's doing some big things. So the fact that she even took time out of her day, the least I could do is give her something to eat.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how I think about it, is like, what, she's a human being, right? If I was in her shoes, would I have done the same thing? And if I had done the same thing, would I have different expectations?
Yeah.
If I didn't have different expectations, what would I have? What would I want the podcasters to do to make me feel appreciated? And so I think that's kind of.
I think that's empathy or something like
that. Yeah.
No, it's just weird. Like, and it doesn't give me anxiety, but I just want to make sure.
But you good at relationships.
I know I'm very good at relationships, but you realize that these relationships that I'm good with, if you go down through all my relationships, you see 20 years, 15 years, 17 years. Like, you see, like, time and time again, and.
But even like the newer ones, the ones that you formed in your 20s. I mean, at one point they were 1-2 years.
Yeah. But it wasn't business, though.
It was still friendship.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like, it was genuine. Yeah, like, and I don't know. It's kind of like a couple episodes ago that we posted. You know, we're kind of in the future, but still in the present. To where you say, like, watch what you say. You want to be taken seriously. I want to give. What's the word? Until we both prove that we can be friends for real. I don't want to give the
illusion.
I don't want to give that illusion. I want it to be clear that this is a business relationship while still giving you that human respect.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Like, I don't want to, quote unquote, invite you to my house.
Oh, wedding.
Exactly. Like I don't want to be offensive by being abrasive, by being too like if you're in it for business, I'm in it for business, but I want to treat you as a human and still not let my personality, and not personality, but like, you know, I don't want it to bleed over to where it's like it's too much.
I agree.
Cause it's kind of like your boss in a way. You know how your boss say, "Hey, after 5, don't email me," or something like that.
Yeah. She said you can, but I'm not gonna respond.
You're not gonna respond. That doesn't mean that she's like a mean person and that she's like, you know, she ain't gonna help you out when help is needed. But it's like, at this time, I'm a boss here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If my friend had a question, they can text me, they can call me
afterwards,
and I will respond. I don't want to be that person that step over the line thinking that we friends, where really it's a bit like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. I'm not going to disrespect it. We actually talked off camera. I said, oh no, I'm not going to use that number. I'm going to send emails because right now I don't want to be abrasive. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Like I think the more I'm talking, the more clear it's becoming. It's like, I don't want to be abrasive, even though we only met one time, we met 10 times, we met 20 times. I don't want to not take for granted, but, you know, like, we're not friends.
Yeah.
At least not yet. You get what I'm saying?
And what's that boundary, right?
Exactly. So I'm going to continue to use that email, or I'm going to continue to be hesitant of being open too fast. You know, maybe I need to prove myself more to that person or to those people. And many times than not, if something happens one time, it can be a sign of things can come. So I'm like, sometimes I can overthink and think 10 steps ahead. And I'm like, oh, I may need to adjust or prepare myself of how to handle business relationships, of not to be that abrasive guy And when I say abrasive, I'm not like the guy that just come in as soon as I see you, I just throw my arm around you and stuff like that. Like I'm
hug somebody.
Exactly.
It's like,
no. No, I'm not. I'm not that guy. So like when I say abrasive, I don't mean like I'm over here crowding your space and things like that. Because even then, I had to tell myself not to be standoffish. Because at certain times, I should can be standoffish and things like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's like, okay, be you, but don't be professional you. You know what I mean? Learn to work that muscle of being professionally you.
Yeah. And
not being, I'm chilling at Moses' house you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like cultivate that professional side of you, I guess. I don't know.
No, I mean, I think you hit on the nose. It goes back to that podcast episode where we were talking about watch what you say. There's times to be serious. Mm-hmm. There's different parts. I think what you're talking about is like, I haven't exercised the business side of me. I exercised the boyfriend side of me. I exercised the close friend or best friend side of me. I exercised the brother side of me. I exercised, the drummer side of me. Mm-hmm. But I haven't exercised how do I show up in a business environment or atmosphere, and what does that look like? And I think that's something that both of us.
And I don't know what it looks like on my end.
To be honest with you, for the longest time, I didn't know how to engage with coworkers because I always worked with coworkers that were older than me. So the only time I had to engage with coworkers was at work, one, and then it was like kind of like a student teacher level, which I've been doing for the whole life because they were like in their 30s. I was like early 20s. Yeah. It was all late 30s or 40s. So I would ask them a question, they would then give me an answer. Until maybe in the last 2-3 years, I started working with people my age. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm gonna say the N-word. I'm gonna start cursing.
You over here saying the N-word?
I'm gonna say jokes that I'll be telling with Chris that's gonna get me called to the HR room. I was like, I didn't know how to navigate in that space. So for the longest, I was just quiet. I didn't say anything. I was kind of standing in the office. I kind of looked like I was like that black guy who like, oh yeah, that kid, he's I don't know, he don't bang with us. But it was just like I didn't know what to say. It wasn't until like I got more familiar with a lot of these people and I started knowing what jokes to say, what jokes not to say. Yeah. And even I'll be honest right now, I still get a little like I'm not sure exactly how to converse with a lot of these people.
Yeah,
at my age level.
At work, I try to stay away from the jokes.
Yeah, me too.
I try to. I let them say the jokes, and I may hit you with a ha. You know what I mean?
I might hit you with HR notice. I'm gonna get you before you get me. Kanye said we can say the N.
And like nope.
What you say? You said the N. Kanye said what?
No, but
let me stop.
No, but that was an interesting thought I had, and I had that thought probably like a couple of days ago. I was like, man, what do that look like? And like, you know what I mean? Like, is like I want it to be different until we prove to each other that we can be personally friends. Yeah. But it's like you said, you gotta work out that muscle. Yeah. Anything else you want to share on this topic? This was a random topic that
it's trying to be a good one.
Yeah, man.
No, I think that on the nose.
Man, I think the older you get, especially when you go into your 30s, I think we all should update the terms of service with our friendships. For real. Because
I agree.
Being a friend is conditional.
No, it is. I think all relationships.
It's very conditional, and we don't treat it as that.
I mean, it's unconditional love.
You said God is unconditional love?
Yeah.
And they say a mother's love is unconditional.
I agree.
I think that's conditional too.
I think she still loves you.
I think she has a lot of love to condition, but like I think like hers gonna take a while before it runs out.
I don't know, man. Mothers be loving their murderous sons.
You ain't loving your murderous son if
they never said father's love is unconditional.
Hey, listen, I was
lock that boy up.
I was joking. I was joking around with like my girl. I was like, if my son did or if my child was to do a crime like a crazy crime, I'm like, get him out of here.
I'm like, how much is the reward money? I know where he at. He right here, right now, talking to my wife.
Yeah, like he's scary. But no, I think y'all should update y'all terms of service with friendships and actually like be honest and be like, hey,
you're not a good friend.
What was accepted at 13 years old
Facts.
it's not accepted at 31 years old.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of my friends did that with me with the phone call. I mean, in a roundabout way, because, you know, we talk with jokes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of friends told me, and I think even Prison said this, it's like, I think it's good for friends to call their friends out. I mean, the reason why I don't got cartoons on my shirt, I say this almost every 10 episode, is because of this guy. I was going to see a girl. I had a big old monkey cartoon on my shirt. And he said, you going to wear that on the date? I looked at I was driving too. Because I just left his house where he said that. I was driving. I was looking at my shirt driving. That weekend, I threw all my cartoon shirts, all my free shirts out. Wearing solid colors and like statement shirts.
Listen to
since
me.
Then.
Just because it fits doesn't mean that you can still wear it.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It's funny because maybe if you would have held on to it, maybe it came back. You know how people wear those graphic tees now, but you should be wearing no monkey on like your.
I feel like those are still for young men.
You think so?
Yeah, 20 to 30s.
But no,
30.
Update y'all terms of service with y'all friends, man. Because what happens is, and I see it because my girl forces me to watch all this reality TV shows. What you do is you abandon your friends, and you get new friends. And you never communicate why you don't talk to that person no more. What you do is you talk about that person to the new friend of why you're not friends with that person no more. And there's so many groups that it's just communication. And the thing about communication is, I always said this and I say this in my relationship. Don't try to preach communication to me when you only got bad things to say. Like, let's communicate when things are going good. You get what I'm saying? Like, positive reinforcement and things like that. People want to preach communication and like, hey, we gotta communicate, but you're telling me I suck. like that's the only time you choose to communicate.
And to your point, last couple episodes, be concise, be clear,
short, concise.
Don't run around the bush because now everybody's confused and now y'all talk about something completely different than what y'all wanted to talk about.
And now you gotta listen to demands that you gotta meet.
You always take the trash out at 6 p.m., not 7 p.m. It's like, wait, but I take out the trash.
Exactly. So update y'all terms of service with y'all friends. So unless you don't want to be friends with them no more, then just let that contract run out.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's usually what happens. When I got the Call of Duty bundle and stuff like that, it's so funny how, like, it's a new game, so they you have to agree to the terms of service before you start the game. So they have accept and decline. And I'm like, if you brought the game, you're not going to, for when nobody reads it, and you're not going to decline anything. And if you decline it, it takes you back to your home screen. And it basically like, you know, this game is not suitable for you, basically, because you have sensibilities that will go against your beliefs. But hopefully y'all enjoyed that episode, man. And y'all have a good rest of the week. Blessings.